I've talked about our draft class just to mention how I think it's going. I think our number one's been exceptional. He's everything we thought he would be, well coached, coming from Nick at LSU. He has been a starter since the day he got off the plane here in Houston, and great rookies here in the past few years. I think this kid, I don't want to put that pressure on him, but I think y'all be talking about this kid in that same light before this season's over. He's been excellent. Our number two has not, he's only practiced 2 days. The kid from Auburn, Tate. He's got a lot of ability. He's behind the rest of the football team, but he's very, very talented. It's our job to catch him up. He had a hamstring issue. He's being brought here to help us right away, and y'all know that from a running back standpoint. But he's everything we thought he was talent-wise, but he's just a little behind, and we'll get him caught up. Our third guy, I think, is going to be a big surprise. He's a local kid. I went to North Shore High School, Earl Mitchell. I tell you, I think he's going to steal some guys' lunch money up front. They better play hard, and they better do a good job, or he's going to run some of them off. This kid plays extremely hard. He's not real big. He's a 300-pound guy that is big, but in this business, he's not big. But he's all about effort, and I've been really impressed with what he's done, and I think you're going to see this kid contribute a lot. From here on out, I'm probably going to miss in the order they were drafted, but let me go to the tight end first, Graham from Wisconsin. He has basically been pushed into being a starter. That's one position that concerns me with our football team right now, with Owen being out, Joel Dreesen being out, Anthony Hill being out. So this kid's worked as a starter. He's been exceptional. I don't want to push OD's ability on him or what OD has done, but this kid's very smart, and he's going to play early and help our football team. Sharpton, the linebacker we drafted from Miami, I think we felt like it was very important with D'Amico. D'Amico has not missed any football. He's been exceptional, but we needed another kid that we could start to groom to be the quarterback of our defense. That's why we drafted this young man. And not only have we been very pleased with him there, but he can play all three spots. I think y'all will see him helping us on special teams throughout this season as we move forward. McManus is a young corner we drafted from Northwestern. We knew he was hurt, had a quad issue. We're getting him healthy. We think he belonged in the front end of the draft if he was healthy. We got him later. Where did we get him, Mark? 4th or 5th round? You better be right. You're supposed to know that stuff. Is that right, Coop? Okay. But anyway, this kid's going to miss all the offseason, but he'll be there in training camp. And if we are right, we think we have a kid that will play for us for a long time. We think we may have stole the player, but we got to get him good and healthy. Let's see, Shelley Smith, the guard from Colorado State. Obviously, we're trying to get more competitive up front. I don't think we played good enough inside last year. And he's probably as athletic an inside guy as we've drafted in the past few years. And he will push players inside. He will push Studdard. He will push Caldwell. He will push all those guys. I think 2 more, right, Coop? Holiday, our little guy. One guy I'm bigger than on the team. But he is all 5'6", 100. Today we were doing our weights, your reporting weights for the season. And I saw his was 163, and I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, this kid's dynamite. It's hard to evaluate a kid who's a returner when you're out there in shorts. You're not doing much right now. But I think everybody has seen him. He's very explosive. But the thing we have to do is we have to teach him to play receiver. Because in our business, you shoot 45 guys, and you run out of specialty players. You've got to be able to do more. So that's a challenge for me to get him there. The last kid, Dickerson, we drafted out of Pittsburgh. Y'all heard me use the word project with him. This kid was a linebacker, a tight end, a fullback, a wide receiver. I think he's a wide receiver. He ran 4.3. He vertical 43.5. He just needs a home to settle down. So what I've done is I've told him, you follow Andre Johnson everywhere he goes and you figure it out. But I think this kid's got a future and has a chance to help us on special teams. But I think you'll see 3, 4, 5 of these guys be big factors on our team, just like you have in the past. I think our drafts have been very good, and I feel very good about this one. When you finish the season, obviously you evaluate what you're doing, then you go to the draft. And when you finish the season, it's easy to identify problems. And coming out of our season, it'd be easy to say, Chris didn't kick good enough. We didn't run the ball good enough. We weren't stout enough inside defensively. We didn't close games good enough. So you could pick out spots, and that's easy to go draft a player or chase a player in free agency and say, okay, now we're better doing that. But when you do that as a coach, when you identify 2, 3, or 4 spots, all of a sudden you put so much focus on those things that you tend to get away from the other strengths of your football team. And one of the things I want y'all to know, I think the key to being successful and being good for a long, long time is that our core of our football team gets better. And I'll always believe that. You know, if I don't do a better job, if D'Amico's not better, Andre's not better, Matt's not better, Eric Winston's not better, if we let them guys think that they're okay, then we won't get there. So I put more pressure on them. We have some young talent that's going to help us be a better football team. But if those guys don't get better and don't reach another level, and that includes yours truly, that's talking to you right now, then we don't get there. And I think we're awful close to getting there, so I'm going to make sure I push that group of players as part of this football team. Tonight I had to do a thing over at the stadium. I asked them what they wanted me to talk about. They said, Coach, tell us about your vision for 2010. Well, when I was thinking about that, driving up here with Coop, you know, my vision, the day that Bob called me, it hasn't changed. You know, my vision is to see Bob and Janice someday hold up a Lombardi trophy. And that's easier said than done. I've been fortunate to be a part of 6 of those opportunities, and 3 times it getting done. And it takes a hell of a lot of work. But I can tell you this, there's an old saying that we're not where we're supposed to be, we're not where we ought to be, but we sure as hell aren't where we used to be. And that's the way I feel right now. And I think we're very close, but we got to push and get over the hump here. We got to be playing next January for you, for us, for this city, and I think we're very close to doing that. And I have a lot of confidence that we can get that done as a football team. I think there are 3 very, very important things to this season. Okay? I think the first thing is that we have to win in our division. Now, I could have said play better in our division. I don't think we played bad in our division, but we lost 5 games by a total of 25 points. So we're in every football game with a chance to win. You have to win in your division in this league. It's like those games count for 2. So we have got to win in our division as a football team. Number 2, we got to continue to get more physical as a football team because I think consistently that's what wins in this league. And I loved being number 1 throwing the ball last year. That was awesome. But if you can't run the ball in this league and stop the run, you're not going to win. Number 3, I think we have to overcome adversity to win. There's an old saying, I was told by a coach of mine a long time ago that every football season there's going to be 3 crises in a season. And you as a coach better find a way to overcome them. Well, you know what? We already got one on our hands. Okay, we got one on our hands. And I talk about these 3 things. You know, I talk about the division, I talk about physical, I talk about overcoming adversity, and then I look at opening day and I say, okay, opening day we face all 3 of those things. You know, we faced the Colts, and yeah, we played them great last year, and yeah, we can say we could have won both of those games, but we didn't. So we got to beat that football team. You know, they've been the class of our division and the class of the National Football League for about the last 10 or 12 years. Okay? And if we're not physical, we don't beat that team. So that happens opening day. And then we face adversity opening day because we're missing one of our best players. Brian Cushing is a tremendous football player. I think he's one of the best in the business at a very young age. And we got to go play for a month without him. And it's our job as coaches and as players to figure out a way to be successful and continue to win without it. So I think those 3 key things, they start to happen opening day, and we got to get it done from that standpoint. I don't think there's any easy road to success in this business. I don't want one. I don't think you get better looking for an easy road. As I told you, I was a part of 6 teams that went to the Super Bowl over the past 15, 20 years, whatever it's been for me. And I can't sit here and tell you, boy, back in 98, we had the easiest schedule in the league. What I would tell you is all 6 of those teams were pretty good. And I think we got a chance to be pretty good. So I don't care who we play. I care about how we play. And I have no doubt in my mind we're going to be a good football team. Our mindset is excellent right now. Okay? I let the players, George Seifert told me one time, and I'll never forget this. I worked for George in San Francisco. He said, Gary, he said, you got a good football team when you trust your players to take over your football team. And I don't tell our players how to break out of a huddle or how to break out of a meeting or how to do things. And I noticed that they went from breaking out after practice, using the word Texans all the time from the past few years. This offseason they started breaking out saying Super.